And it's time now for the Streamline, everything that you need to know in 10 minutes or less. We want to start with some news breaking overnight. Israeli troops have now entered Gaza City. The Israeli military says ground forces are moving in now, with more on the way in the coming days. The Israeli government says their mission is to occupy Gaza City and root out Hamas. Last night, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians fled the area as Israel's Air Force conducted massive airstrikes, clearing the way for tanks to roll in. This news comes shortly after a UN commission announced its conclusion that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. The commission is made up of a number of independent experts who've been tracking the war since Hamas's October 7th attack 2 years ago. The commission chair says it's clear there's an intent by Israel to destroy the Palestinians in Gaza.
This is no minor matter. The extremity of what is happening is such that we could come to no other reasonable inference than genocidal purpose.
As of Sunday, the death toll in Gaza is nearing 65,000 people, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health. Israel's ground offensive follows a visit from U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who met privately with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. After a joint news conference, Rubio said the U.S. supports Israel's goal of destroying Hamas.
The man who's accused of killing conservative influencer Charlie Kirk could be in court as early as this afternoon. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the charges he faces and the new evidence that's been found linking him to the assassination.
This morning, prosecutors in Utah are preparing to file charges against 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Law enforcement sources telling ABC News that the suspect allegedly laid out his attack, tracking Charlie Kirk's schedule and studying a map of the campus.
We are very interested in how much time he spent on campus, how he got there, when he got there. We have the vehicle we believe he drove and that we can confirm was on campus that day.
FBI Director Kash Patel telling Fox that investigators recovered 2 pieces of evidence that were a match for Robinson's DNA. A screwdriver on the roof where they believe the shot was fired from, and on the towel wrapped around the rifle found in the woods. Patel also saying investigators are poring over any electronic devices the suspect might have used as the investigation moves forward.
A text message exchange where the suspect specifically stated that he had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and he was going to do that. And when he was asked why, he said some hatred cannot be negotiated with.
FBI Director Kash Patel will be on Capitol Hill today, taking questions on the FBI's handling of the Charlie Kirk shooting investigation and his overall leadership of the department. Now, the New York Police Department is warning of an increasingly volatile threat environment, saying the killing of Charlie Kirk and last year's killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson stem from the same toxic and violent atmosphere.
The political violence, targeted attacks, mass shootings that are plaguing the United States and have been for over a decade are in large part fueled by an online ecosystem that's saturated with violent and other content that's purposely placed there by foreign powers, terrorist groups, violent organizations here for the purposes of inspiring and informing future attacks.
Robinson is expected to make his first virtual court appearance later today, where prosecutors are expected to formally unveil the charges against him. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Today, President Trump's crackdown on crime spreads to another city. National Guard troops and federal law enforcement are now headed to Memphis. The president announced a task force late Monday night. Tennessee's Republican governor welcomes the move, but Democratic city leaders in Memphis are calling it unnecessary.
I'm certainly not happy about the National Guard. I am looking forward to trying to find ways to invest in the things that we're already doing to address crime in our city.
FBI figures show Memphis ranks first in the country for violent crime rate, but local officials say they have made progress, with the murder rate hitting a 6-year low. Trump says he's planning similar action in Chicago. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker is threatening legal action if the National Guard is sent in without the state's consent.
A federal appeals court is rejecting the president's move to fire Federal Reserve Board Governor Lisa Cook. The emergency ruling is another defeat for Trump's efforts to control the Fed. 2 weeks ago, Trump fired Cook over allegations of mortgage fraud, but so far Kirk hasn't been charged with any wrongdoing. In an emergency ruling Monday night, the court said Cook's right to due process was violated because she never had the chance to defend herself against the accusation. She'll now take part in the Fed's meeting this week, where they could cut interest rates.
Meanwhile, President Trump is filing a $15 billion lawsuit against the New York Times and 4 of its journalists. Trump is accusing the Times of making false statements about him, his family, and his businesses, but he did not elaborate on the allegations. This continues a saga of attacks on news outlets by the president. Back in July, Trump filed a $10 billion defamation lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal for reports about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. And then that same month, Paramount settled a lawsuit filed by Trump alleging CBS's 60 Minutes deceptively edited an interview with former Vice President Kamala Harris that aired in October. The New York Times did not immediately respond for a comment about the lawsuit.
The FBI is investigating a near catastrophe in Salt Lake City. Authorities say 2 men placed a bomb under a Fox 13 news vehicle and tried to detonate it. The device had been lit, it didn't explode. Fox 13 is owned by the same company as ABC 10 News, EW Scripps. According to police, the car was parked next to an occupied building. 2 people were arrested. They face charges including possessions of weapons of mass destruction and threatening terrorism.
Today, Luigi Mangione is due back in court for the first time in months. His defense is working to dismiss his murder indictment. Mangione is accused of killing former United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York City last year. His attorneys say the state's murder indictment should be thrown out since he already faces federal charges for the same killing. They also want the judge to throw out evidence seized at the time of Mangione's arrest and statements he made to law enforcement. Mangione is facing 11 charges from the state, including first-degree murder and second-degree murder as a crime of terrorism. He also faces other weapons and forgery charges. Mangione could get a life sentence if convicted in New York State court. The Justice Department announced it will seek the death penalty in his federal murder case.
Starting a business can be costly and stressful. And here on the campus of USD, in a room like this, ideas are transformed into reality. As a student at USD,
we've been with them from ground zero.
Dominic Ballard wanted to start his own business, but he wasn't quite sure how to make it happen.
I think when you're certainly a young entrepreneur, you tend to overcomplicate a lot of things. There's a lot of things you want to do and try.
That's when he found the Brink Small Business Development Center on the campus of USD. It's one of 10 centers in San Diego and Imperial County.
There's just nothing like it. I don't know if there's another opportunity out there today that doesn't cost anything to create something that has really no, limit to it.
After meetings and attending workshops, his company, Athletiverse, a digital marketing agency, was born.
Started working with different teams around San Diego, just helping them make content for social media.
And there are many others like Dominic who have been able to turn their dreams into a reality. At this USD location, there have been upwards of 1,500 businesses that have been created. Stephen Flynn, the interim director of the Brink, says they offer free services to all students and members of the community, providing one-on-one consulting, organizing networking opportunities, and offering legal and funding resources, services that could cost you upwards of a couple $1,000s.
So getting even a 1-hour free session with someone who can kind of tell you where you might want to make changes with your business idea or how to get started, it's going to save you a lot of you save a lot of your time and money early on so you can get started in a good direction.
Which Dominic says helped him develop his business to what it is now, working with sports teams and companies across the country and all over the world.
People want to see you win here, which is amazing.
If you are interested in learning more about the Small Business Development Center, head to our website 10news.com and click on the Resource Center. Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
And that's your ABC 10 News Streamline. Everything you need to know in under 10 minutes.